Hello, friends. This is Dave Hurwitz, executive editor at ClassicsToday.com, here with Dave's Faves. But first, I have to point out the latest addition to the ClassicsToday.com merchandise shop. And here it is. Love the music that loves you back. Our statement of listeners' rights. Anyway, it comes in multifarious colors, and it's really a very favorably priced item. Feel free to pick one up. Now, let's talk about Saint-Saëns piano music, shall we? Saint-Saëns has to be the most underrated composer in like all of Western history. He wrote everything. He did operas, he did ballets, he did chamber music, he did orchestral music. He did all of it really well for the most part, but nobody seems to give him much credit for it. And I don't get it, because virtually everything I've heard by him has been really, really good. Now, some might say it's not transcendentally great, whatever that means. You know, he was not a spiritual genius type guy. He was not a composer of incredibly excitable passion. He had passion. He had emotion, he had feeling, he had great feeling, but he was a perfectionist, someone who wrote at a certain level of precision and polish and never fell below it, and rarely fell above it or raised himself above it. So that in that respect, people find him, I think, to be a little bit cool and a little bit predictable, but he's really not. It really depends on how carefully you listen to him, how familiar you are with his music, and then what your own aesthetic predilections are. I love superior craftsmanship. I really do. I love superior craftsmanship in the service of musical beauty and sensitivity and really, I think, genuine feeling. But the feeling is not expressed through hysteria, through, obvious gestures or craziness. It's expressed through shapeliness of form, elegance of line, clarity of texture, beautiful sense of rhythm, proportion. All of those things have a tremendous affect. They are expressive. They are expressive of the normal human emotions. But some people sort of miss the intensity because you have to give it time. You have to give it time. You have to understand how it's expressing its range of feeling. And too few people have time for Saint-Saëns, but I do. And so do you. And the piece I'm talking about, the disc I'm talking about, it's a wonderful disc. The complete Etudes for piano. Really fabulous. There are only 18 of them. So it's not like it's a big project to listen to them. He wrote a lot of piano music, but like everything else, he didn't write like huge, showy sonatas and things that were in large forms that were going to get him a lot of attention. He wrote mostly shorter pieces, no matter how wonderful they are, and so nobody cares. But these pieces are wonderful. Oh, they're so beautiful. And they are etudes. Real etudes. Let's see what they're etuding about. Oh, the pianist, by the way, is Piers Lane, and this is on Hyperion, and it's just a wonderful, wonderful record. Let's see. Okay, so we have 6 etudes. There's a prelude, and then Pour l'indépendance des doigts, for the independence of the fingers, and it's marked Andante malinconico. Melancholy. See? It's not just a dry technical exercise. Not a bit. Then there's a prelude and fugue in F minor. And then there's a rhythmic etude marked Andantino. And another prelude and fugue, in this case in A minor. And then a en forme de valse, a waltz, to conclude the series. Marvelous, marvelous music. Characterful and a wonderful mixture of things that require different types of virtuosity. Virtuosity of digital independence, virtuosity of rhythm, virtuosity of textural clarity in playing multiple voices, and independence of the hands, and then a wonderful concluding waltz to wrap everything up in a cheerful, cheerful way. Now, these are Opus 52. Then you wrote another series, Opus 111, which are very, very late. Remember, Saint-Saëns lived until like 1920-something. Most people thought he was dead by 1850, but no, he lived to 1921. 1835 to 1921. That's quite a life. He really saw a lot, it's really nifty. And the next six are let's see, thirds, major and minor, and then chromatic hoogies. It's called chromatic traits, I guess. Then we have another prelude and fugue, and then a piece called Les Cloches de Las Palmas, the bells of Las Palmas, and then major thirds chromatically expressed, and finally, this is wonderful, toccata after the fifth concerto. Now, if you know the Egyptian concerto and you know the finale of the Egyptian concerto, this is a piano resublimation of the final movement of the Egyptian concerto. And oh, it has such wonderful tunes. Oh my goodness. Dum bum ba da 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 dum bum ba bum ba bum ba dum bum ba da 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 dum bum ba da da da. I could go on forever. It's wonderful. And that's just one of the tunes. The other is ya ba dum ba dum ba dum ba dum bum ba da 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 da. Oh, it's just wonderful. And this piano arrangement is delicious because it's a piano concerto anyway. So what the heck? Oh, it's just great. It's one of the most joyful and delicious 4 minutes of music you have ever heard in your life. Then we get 6 etudes for left hand alone. And the fact that they're for left hand alone is all you need to know about the fact that they're etudes. I mean, they're hard for the left hand alone. And finally, a theme varié, variations on an original theme, Opus 97, 7 minutes of pure joy. And that's what this disc is. Pure joy from start to finish. I love it. I have it on my iPod, my iPhone, whatever the thing is called. I play it in the car all the time. It makes great road music. It really does. It's just a delight. So if you don't know Saint-Saëns piano music, here's a great opportunity for you to get to know a bunch of it in a very, very convenient package, magnificently played and beautifully recorded, as is Hyperion's Won't. Go for it. So thank you for joining me, my friends. Take care. And keep on listening. Oh, yeah. Don't forget that.